Bonjour, je m'appelle François Pandeny. I'm a machine fixer. I see that we have many new employees here today. Très bien. Very good. In this part of your tour you will learn why the Belknap Mill was built on this site in the city of Laconia. Let's begin by looking at the building itself. The Belknap Mill was built in 1823. This image shows how it appeared soon after it was built. The Belknap Mill had replaced an earlier textile mill made of wood that had burned. To rebuild the mill, the owners invested in the most modern design and technology available to them at the time. What features can you find in this building that made it so efficient for its day? Look closely, and you will see that this mill has brick walls to withstand fire, and the mill has wooden beams with beveled edges. The beveled edges were added to discourage fire from spreading. Our mill has many windows. In 1823, there was no electricity, so the windows provided light and air circulation. Look around you. The sides of the windows slant outward to let in more light. The Belknap Mill has many floors. These were needed so that pulleys and belts could transport power from the water wheel to the textile machines on each floor. You can see here that the Belknap Mill, like most mills, has a staircase built on the outside of the building to keep the floors open, allowing more space for the machines. Next door to us is another mill called the Belknap Mill, another textile mill. It was built in 1853, 30 years after the Belknap Mill. This is how the Belknap Mill appeared in 1918. You can see that these two mills share some of the same features, like brick walls to withstand a fire, many windows for light and air circulation, many floors for the belts and pulleys to power the machines, and a projecting staircase to allow more space for the machines. Now, let's look behind the Belknap Mill to learn why these two mills were built on the river. Behind the Belknap Mill is a body of water. Do you know what it is? This body of water is called the Winnipesaukee River. Where did the water that makes up the Winnipesaukee River come from? Water comes from the rain and snow that falls in the White Mountains, in a watershed. The water begins as streams and eventually collects in a very large and deep body of water called Lake Winnipesaukee. The lake's outlet is the Winnipesaukee River in Lakeport. 4 industrial towns, Laconia, Tilton, Northfield, and Franklin, developed along the banks of the Winnipesaukee River. The Winnipesaukee River drops nearly 200 feet before it joins the Pemigewasset River in Franklin. Here, the Winnipesaukee and Pemigewasset join and form the Merrimack River, which flows 115 miles through Concord, Manchester, Nashua in New Hampshire, and on to the Atlantic Ocean at Newburyport, Massachusetts. So why do you think these two mills were built along this river? When they were built, the Belknap and Belknap mills used the only power source that was available, water power. The Winnipesaukee River provided the mills with this water power, or hydropower. To tap into this energy, the mill owners had water channeled from the river and brought to where it could fall to a lower level. As it falls, water gains speed and power. The mill owners built this dam on the site of a natural waterfall. What advantages does a dam have over a natural waterfall? A dam does the following. It holds back water, it controls the water level, and releases only the water that is needed and saves the rest for times of drought. It does this by using a sluice gate, as shown here. This sluice gate was raised or lowered to control the level or flow of water. The earlier of the two mills, the Belknap Mill, had a water wheel to catch the water. The weight of the water turned the wheel. Paddles or buckets mounted around the wheel caught the water. The weight of the water turned the wheel. Water from the water wheels powered pulleys and dams inside the mills. Belts were connected to the machines and made them run. Electricity made from water, or hydroelectric power, is a more efficient system than just water power. In 1918, the owner of the Belknap Mill, J.P. Moran, replaced the water wheel with 3 hydroelectric turbines. The turbines works like a water wheel, but it's turned on its side. Falling water push against the blades of each turbine, causing the turbines to spin. The turbines are connected to a generator. As the turbines spin, the generator also spins, creating electricity. Electricity powers the belts and pulleys and causes the machines to run. Look closely at this detail of the Buzzell Mill. See the brick arch where the old canal ran under the building. Then you can see where the canal came out and down into the Belknap Mill. Here's a bird's eye view showing where the canal was. Here is a picture of some of my friends cleaning and repairing the canal next to the Buzzell Mill in 1918. By the 1960s, the city no longer needed the canals and filled in the arches, but you can see where the water used to run. You can see where the water flowed into the Belknap Mill and where the underground turbines worked. As the Belknap Mill's operations grew, the owners built many other buildings. There was a long, narrow building used for many operations, a dye house, where workers dyed the yarn with many different colors. It was also located along the river. The owners used the river not only to power the machines, but also to flush chemicals used from the dye down the river. People could walk by the river and see what color we were dyeing the socks that day. Sometimes the river would be red, sometimes green. Human waste was also flushed into the river. Look here at this arch inside the mill, and then look at the outside. You can see the marks that tell us that a structure had once been added to this side of the building. That structure was the toilet tower. Each floor had a toilet, and human waste was flushed into the river. This concludes my story about the outside workings of the Belknap and Buzzell Mills. You can see there have been a lot of changes since the Belknap Mill was built in 1823 and the Buzzell Mill in 1853. This is a story of adaptability and how human ingenuity constantly overcome obstacles and create change. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Adieu.